George Porter Dillman caught his first glimpse of her at Euston Station. Even in a crowd as large and volatile as that, she stood out, albeit for the briefest and most tantalizing of moments. As he picked his way through the mass of bodies, Dillman was suddenly confronted by a slender young woman in a green straw hat, trimmed with white flowers and a blue velvet ribbon that matched the colour of her dress. What struck him was not the sudden beauty of her face, or even the delicate sheen of her blonde hair. It was her unassailable confidence. Amid the swirling crowd, with its buffeting shoulders and its jostling elbows, she was completely at ease, moving with the grace of a dancer and blithely ignoring the admiring or lustful glances that she collected. Dillman had never met anyone with such an air of self-possession. He stepped back to allow her to pass, touching the brim of his hat and offering a polite smile, but she did not even notice him. A porter trailed in her wake, pushing her luggage on his trolley and warning people to "mind your backs, please," in a voice that rose above the cacophony. Dillman watched her until she was swallowed up in the throng. Even his unusual height did not permit him to keep track of her for long. The white flowers on her hat soon merged with the vast expanse of floral decoration on the assembled headgear in the station concourse. It was as if a huge garden was on the move, rippling and surging like a multicoloured wave, bearing along with it on the heads of male passengers and well-wishers a motley collection of top hats, bowlers, Homburgs, straw boaters, and flat caps of every description. But flowers predominated on that September afternoon, and, in Dillman's mind, her white posies on that green straw hat took pride of place among them. 2 minutes later, he was climbing aboard the train and making his way along the corridor in a first-class carriage. It was one of the 3 specials that had been laid on to take passengers to Liverpool to board the Lusitania on its maiden voyage, an event that had caught the public imagination in the most extraordinary way. The excitement aboard the train was palpable. Even the most phlegmatic travellers were imbued with a sense that they were setting off on a great adventure. They were not merely sailing to New York on the biggest ocean liner in the world. They would be taking part in a voyage of historic significance. Dillman shared the anticipatory delight, though for somewhat different reasons. The compartment he chose already had 5 occupants, and Dillman had difficulty finding a space on the luggage rack for his valise and his hat. When he sat down with a book in his hand, he distributed a nod among his companions, but got no more than one non-committal glance in return, convincing him that he was part of a wholly English gathering, and could expect conversation from none of them until they were well on their way. The magic of the Lusitania had no doubt touched their souls, but it had as yet failed to break through their natural reserve.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.